When I started my business, I just opened the first business bank account I could find to separate my personal and business transactions. But as things started to grow, I quickly realized that I needed a lot more than simple transaction tracking. And that's when I discovered North One. I found it to be the ultimate business banking tool that can grow with you, whether you're looking to turn your side hustle into a main hustle, or you're already an established business looking to take things to the next level. So here's everything you need to know about the North One business banking platform from a longtime user to do just that. Before we go any further, I do want to let you know that North One is sponsoring today's video, which means they do get to see this before it goes live, but if you're watching this, then that means they were okay with any praise or criticism I have for this platform, since I will always be 100% honest about the products that we talk about, and I've also personally had a North One account for years, and I've talked about it many times before in unsponsored videos. So if at any point in the video you do want to learn more and help support this free content, then you can check out the first link down in the description. But with all of that out of the way, let's start things off with the main checking account. So North One does things a little differently than you might be used to with your typical checking and savings account. And instead, they essentially combine your business checking and business interest checking, which already sets it apart from the competition, since a majority of business banking platforms offer little to nothing in the way of interest. You're of course looking at no hidden fees, meaning no minimum balance requirements, no overdraft charges, and they'll even reimburse you up to 6 ATM withdrawal fees per month, depending on which account type you have, which we'll talk more about in a minute. Managing cash flow could not be easier with instant access to your revenue through platforms like Stripe, PayPal, Square, and several others, along with same-day ACH transfer options with a monthly maximum of $1.5 million, which is way more than other business bank accounts that I've personally used in the past. You've also got domestic wire transfer options, the ability to send and deposit paper checks, and like many other financial technology companies, North One is backed by the Bancorp Bank, meaning your funds are FDIC insured up to $250,000. Now, all of that is great, but it's kind of par for the course these days. But where things get really crazy is the ability to earn up to 3% APY, which rivals most personal savings accounts these days. Plus, you can earn 1% cash back on all transactions with a Plus account and 4% cash back at over 90,000 participating hotels and restaurants on your North One debit card. That debit card not only allows you to withdraw cash at over 2 million ATMs around the world, but you can also deposit cash at participating Green Dot locations. So if, like many, you're worried about not having a brick and mortar bank, then rest assured that you can do pretty much everything a brick and mortar bank offers with North One. Okay, so obviously North One does a lot, but no platform can do everything. But the good news is you can seamlessly integrate your North One account with a long list of third-party business tools, from bookkeeping software like QuickBooks to e-commerce platforms like Shopify, financial management tools like Betterment and Expensify, and so much more. Again, integrating with third-party tools is nothing new, but North One took this to the next level, and I have never seen such a long list of compatible third-party tools with any platform. That's great, but also if you're like me and you want to keep as much as possible under one platform, then their integrated invoicing and bill payment tools are fairly robust, and the details given on each transaction are so much better than your average bank account, meaning you don't have to dig through that stack of receipts to find that random transaction from 3 weeks ago that you can't remember. Don't worry, we've all been there. Now, perhaps my favorite feature are the North One envelopes, which are basically a digital version of the popular envelope budgeting method and allow you to break your main accounts into smaller sub-accounts. So I personally use this to set money aside for quarterly taxes, but you could set up an envelope for profit if you're implementing profit first methodology, or an envelope for payroll, equipment, or really anything you need to set money aside for. The last thing I want to talk about on the feature side of things is just the overall layout of the app, which I have found to be the perfect balance between a robust set of tools that allow you to access everything from your phone, tablet, or computer without being overly cluttered and complex. Cluttered and outdated UI is a huge pet peeve of mine, and if you've watched this channel for a while, then you probably already know that. But I really found the North One platform to be pretty intuitive. I picked up the basic navigation within a few minutes, and while I generally keep an eye on things from my smartphone, it's also nice having a full dedicated desktop platform to fall back on that doesn't feel like like an afterthought, which is often the case with a lot of competing products. Okay, I know that was a lot and we moved pretty quick there since we had a lot to cover, but the big remaining questions are, is this platform a good fit for you and your small business? And if so, how much is it gonna cost? Well, let's actually start with the second question, and the good news is that all of the core features of North One with the standard account are a whopping $0 per month. That's right, the standard account still allows you to earn 2.5% APY as long as you meet the monthly spending requirement of $500, which if you're running a business, hopefully shouldn't be too hard to hit, and it comes with a majority of the core features that we just talked about. Now, where you're gonna miss out is on the fees for certain transaction types, like $1 per physical check or 1.5% for same-day ACH payments. Not ideal, but if you're just getting things off the ground and want to commit to a tool that can grow with you as your business grows, then I do like the fact that you can essentially pay as you go for certain transaction types, and unless you were doing a crazy high volume of transactions and really need same-day ACH, for example, then the standard account should be more than enough to get you started, not to mention the fact that depending on how much money you keep in this account, then again, that 2.5% APY that you'll earn may end up covering any little fees that you have to pay here and there, like $1 for a physical check. Now, as things continue to grow with your business and your transaction volume starts to take off, or if you're just looking for the best of the best features, then they also offer a Plus account, which is $20 per month, but does unlock that 1% cash back on all purchases when you use your North One debit card, the increased APY to 3%, and it eliminates nearly all of those small transaction fees from the standard account, which means $0 same-day ACH payments, which is insane, $0 physical checks, $0 to receive domestic wires, and 6 free ATM withdrawals per month, among other benefits. You are still gonna have a $15 charge to send domestic wires, which is actually very reasonable compared to the $35 that a lot of other platforms charge, but with free same-day ACH payments, I'm not sure why you would need to send a wire transfer all that often. The Plus account also comes with priority support, plus a dedicated customer success manager and onboarding assistant. So for $20 a month, that's quite a lot of value, especially if you're already an established business who's probably paying for many pieces of software already. So is this a good platform for you and your small business? Well, ultimately, that's a decision that you have to make. But I think with a free account option that gives you access to a majority of the features, I'd say that you don't really have much to lose if you want to give North One a shot. And if you want to avoid having to switch platforms in the future as your business grows, then I have yet to find a better platform than North One that can accommodate everyone from a small side hustler to a multi-million-dollar established company. Now, the one business type I'd say this is definitely not ideal for would be any cash-heavy business where you are constantly depositing and withdrawing large amounts of cash, because in that case, you probably want to go with a brick-and-mortar bank. But otherwise, I think it's worth giving North One a shot, and again, you can really do everything with North One that a traditional brick-and-mortar bank offers. For me, it really came down to that 3% APY, which really starts to add up with larger balances, and I had not seen anything close to that with competing products. And also the simple yet robust user experience that gives me everything I need from my laptop or phone without being super cluttered, confusing, and just outdated looking. But as per usual, all of this is just my opinion, albeit as a guy who has reviewed and used dozens of business banking platforms over the years. But let me know what you think of North One down in the comment section. And again, if you do want to learn more, sign up, and help support this free content, then that'll be the first link down in the description. And I really appreciate you using that link. But otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.